Right, so joining me today, we have Vickie Shears, who is the Business Development Director for the HR Depth South Warwickshire. Vickie is the driving force behind the team's Breathe success, and at this year's Partner Summit in London, the team won the Top Promoting Consultancy Award, a very well-deserved award for all their hard work over the last 12 months. Firstly, congratulations, Vickie, once again on your award win at this year's Partner Summit. So thank you for joining me today, really appreciate it. To help celebrate your win and also to help give some insights into how the HR Department South Warwickshire is discussing and promoting Breathe with your clients. We're looking forward to sort of running through that with you now. So let's make a start. So firstly, we would like you to provide an opportunity to tell us about your role and sort of the wider HR Department South Warwickshire business, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I joined the HR Dept in September 2021. I'd previously been working for TGI Fridays, where my main role was all about systems, helping set up a new CRM and also having input into a new completely bespoke HR software system. So I'm a big fan of systems. And when I joined, I came into the role as business development executive, looking after actually 4 territories that all kind of sit under the HR Dept sort of South Warwickshire brand. So those territories are North and South Warwickshire, Rugby, and then North Derbyshire. And then in April of last year, we ended up taking on board HR Dept North Birmingham as well. So we're a team of 20. We have 3 offices. So I'm currently sitting in our Warwick office, but we also have an office up in Belper and another office in Sutton Coldfield. And we've got about 400 clients. The business has been growing since 2005, when our exec director, Tracy Hudson, became the first licensee. And HR Dept is a franchise business, and we've got licensees up and down the country that are all sort of supporting SMEs with outsourced HR advice and guidance. So yeah, my role is really to bring in new business, and in order to do that, and because we are one of the largest teams within the network, it's really important that we're talking to our clients and actually doing a bit of a health check with them. What are your pinch points, and how can we support you with that? So we then are able to offer a really tailored and bespoke service rather than a one-size-fits-all approach that we find some of our competitors actually adopt. So yeah, it's a very busy job. No 2 days are the same. And I'm sort of out and about, like I say, talking to new business owners, but also supporting our current clients from a client satisfaction perspective as well. So that's really important to us.
It sounds good. I mean, the formula is clearly working very well. I mean, your Breathe success has been, nothing short of incredible, really. Quickly, progressing through our level system, as our, many of our partners will be familiar with. In a little over 2 years, you've become a Breathe Platinum partner. I mean, what would you say is the key behind that success to make that happen so quickly?
I think for me, you've got to start off with a great system at first, right? And Breathe, I really like the Breathe concept, the fact that Breathe as an organization put their people first. There's quite a lot of values that we share, as 2 sort of SMEs working together, which is really important to us. But I mentioned my time working for TGI Fridays, and obviously large corporate companies have massive budget, can build a really bespoke system. So I know what a good HR system looks like. And when I was looking at the kind of system that we wanted to use both in-house, but also have something that we could offer to our clients, I looked at maybe 6 or 7. And I think Breathe HR was hands down the front runner in terms of its look and feel, its functionality and affordability. So that's really critical for us, to partner with somebody whose values are the same, and to also be able to offer our clients a really great system. And because I'm so passionate about it, I want to make sure that everybody that I'm speaking to knows that they don't have to stick to spreadsheets and the way it always was, that there are other things out there, and it's actually more affordable than a lot of small business owners think. So yeah, a lot of passion.
It's been brilliant. With all that in mind, then how have you adapted, I guess, your approach, over those last couple of years, when you're discussing and promoting Breathe, with your customers?
I think initially, when we were promoting Breathe, it was kind of signposting them to your website, and letting them see for themselves that there's a great system out there. But I kind of had some feedback from a couple of clients. So one of them said, we really like the system, but could you actually manage it for us? And that kind of light bulb moment, let's look at a different service that we can potentially offer our clients. So over the course of the last 2 years, we've kind of developed a different level of service, where we actually manage the life cycle of the employees on behalf of the client. Sometimes if you're a busy business owner, you haven't got time to kind of do the day-to-day, sending out a contract, adding somebody onto a Breathe, and creating a record for them. So we kind of thought, we could do that for you, and that would take some pinch points away from the client, free them up to sort of grow and develop their business. So it's allowed us to adapt and grow and give different levels of service. And when I'm discussing a service with a client, it's really very much led by them. Tell us how you're currently working. And it's listening out for the key things. Well, we manage holiday through spreadsheets, and that's really time consuming. And when we're having to do payroll, that's really time consuming because we're having to pull data from lots of different things. So by collecting all that information, I'm kind of using it then to our advantage. And the key thing for me is when I heard a client say, we're looking at recruiting a HR administrator for maybe 20 hours a week, to kind of really help us with all the admin. And I'm like, we're missing a trick here. We could provide this service to our clients, and we could have somebody on site support a couple of days a week. And so our service has developed and grown over the last 2 years. And that level of service isn't for everybody. So for those that don't want an all singing or dancing service, we've kind of gone with our core service, which is our advice line service, and then say, why don't you bolt Breathe onto that? Because you can maintain it yourselves. You've not got a lot of staff. You've told me you've got low turnover, so you're not churning out contract after contract after contract and having to on and off board people off your system. So let's look at having Breathe HR as a bolt-on. And that's worked really well for us, especially in the last 12 months. I think we've got 15 or 16 clients now that have a complete service from us, where we're managing the whole life cycle using Breathe. And don't get me wrong, we are commercially aware as well. We have some clients that say we've got our own system and actually we don't want to switch. And that's okay, because, when they're a larger organization, maybe that system is right for them. So we've had to kind of grow and adapt our service to make the client at the forefront, but where we can offer a solution, and when Breathe is that solution, then we absolutely go for it.
It's good that you've been, I guess, agile and receptive,
Yeah.
recognizing those changes as you go as well. So that's positive to hear. I mean, with
You
everything
really
you've just
have
got
to.
captured, with everything you've just captured, would you see there's anything in like one sort of main driver maybe that is behind that your client's adoption of I guess Breathe at this stage?
I think I do a really detailed demo, and I've really I've had a battle with our exec director, because she's saying, why are you doing all these demos, Vickie? And for me, I use it as a really great opportunity to identify opportunities to upsell, because at the end of the day, I'm business development and I'm here to increase our revenue streams. But by doing that demo and by understanding what the clients are looking for, I can hone in on specific aspects of the Breathe system. So they might say, oh yeah, we've got a system for holiday, but what we really need is something to allow us to track performance management. So my demo will be very much focused on that aspect of the system. And then when there's time, I will give them more insights to some of the other sort of time saving functionality that Breathe's got. And I think the demo itself, once somebody's seen it, they're 100% hooked. And I think that gives me a little bit of control on onboarding clients onto the Breathe software platform, because we can do the demo, we can talk about options for them implementing it themselves or for us doing it for them. Again, another revenue stream for us as an organization. But at the point where the client's seen the demo, I think I've had 4 clients that have said it's not right for us, and I've understood the reasons why, because no system's perfect. And sometimes a system just isn't right for the client. So I'm not going to push that narrative, but we've got a really good conversion rate from the demos. And I think Tracy has reluctantly agreed that I'm the best placed person to do those demos.
Well, again, it's clearly working well. You fine-tuned it over the last couple of years. I mean, so you've just spoken there about sort of the demo side of it. When you present Breathe, do you tend to do it in person? Is it virtual? How do you go about that?
It depends on what the client wants. If I'm doing a sales appointment and the client wants to meet me on site, then I go along. I always make sure I've got my laptop. I always make sure I've got the facility to present if I need to. But 9 times out of 10, when I'm sending a proposal to a client with an outline of our service and a costing, I've always got a paragraph within our proposal that talks about Breathe, and there's a link there to book a demo in with me through Calendly, and then they just start popping into my inbox, which is fantastic. And again, it's really focusing on where's the pinch point, what can this software do to help, and how can it streamline what you're currently doing. And I think that's really important. I think the other thing that I have the added benefit of is quite unique in so much as I'm now a PAYE employee, but I previously owned my own business for 5 years, and I didn't even think that HR software was an issue or something that I could actually tap into. I thought it'd be way too expensive for me. That's why I'm spending my time running a business 8 days a week, it felt, and then tracking things like holiday and sickness on spreadsheets, and then having paper holiday request forms that would then sit in an in tray and not get looked at till an employee said, are you approving my holiday or not? And I might have said yes to them but not tracked it, and then I've not done my rota properly. So many mistakes I made when I was a small business owner that I can hold my hands up to now. But I'm kind of telling clients that they should see the system as their virtual filing cabinet. The level of security with your ISO is fantastic, and they can have the confidence of using that system and determining what documents that employees see, what areas of the system line managers can see. So kind of alleviating any concerns about, I don't want line managers to see salaries because that will cause an uproar. I think there's so many things that we can talk about when talking to clients about how this is going to revolutionize kind of how they manage their people. I mean, when an employee comes to you to ask to look at your maternity policy, that's a bit like, okay, she probably didn't want me to know that she was pregnant at this point in time, but when the policy is locked away in a filing cabinet, what can you do? So I made a lot of mistakes, but I see it all the time with the businesses that I'm speaking to. They've all got their own little quirks and their own ways of doing things, and I don't think they really understand how something as simple as a piece of software can really, really help them.
It's good for us to see, obviously, your passion for the software is coming through and how you're talking about it. I mean, as I've got to know you over the last few months, I mean, you're clearly very driven. We all recognise that within the team, and you've been really clear about your goal setting as well when it comes to running, obviously using Breathe for the day to day. So how do you, if you don't mind sharing, how do you plan to make those goals sort of happen by Partner Summit 2025?
Yeah, which actually means I need to have it all boxed off by the March time, doesn't it? And it's a huge stretch, and I don't want to go into this, this current financial year. I didn't want to go into it thinking it's taken me 2 years to get 50 clients. Can I get another 50 in 12 months? Well, if you don't try, you're never going to know, are you? So I've kind of broken that down into chunks, how many clients I need to onboard per month. And we're kind of 2 months in, and I'm behind on my goals. And that's not for the want of trying. Can absolutely assure you of that. but we're looking at lots of different ways now we can present Breathe to our clients. So we've recently gone out about doing a webinar where actually I can do a demo to maybe 10 clients all at once. That was one plan that we had. We've also lost a couple of opportunities, which again has allowed me to speak to the rest of the directors within our organisation to kind of say some of the bigger competitors have their own in-house software system. They've got their own e-learning platform, and they're including that free of charge. Whereas because we are a third-party partner, we're having to charge for Breathe. But actually, wouldn't it be great if we started building Breathe into our advice line package as standard and adjusting the price a little bit, but actually kind of making it part of the package rather than looking at it as a bolt-on? So we're just kind of finalising the sorts of the ins and outs of that. Are we going to offer that to everybody, or are we going to offer it to all clients with less than 20 employees, or are we going to extend that to the 21 to 50 price band, and actually just look at doing that at standard? And we're kind of hoping to roll that out in sort of June, July time.
So
yeah, that's all the secrets.
It's out there now.
Yeah.
So how does I guess using Breathe and the module suite fit in, I guess, with that sort of future strategy? I guess not just for the year ahead, but maybe looking a little bit further ahead as well.
I think for us, as you can see, we're constantly evolving. We're constantly looking at new opportunities, and that's one of the great things I love about Breathe. If we'd have been having this conversation maybe 12 months ago, I wouldn't have been as confident in talking to some of our clients about additional modules. I'm kind of, let's just focus on core and let's use core really, really effectively. But then as you start to work with clients and, they love the solution that they've got, and then clients are saying to me, oh, do you know of any system that can, track attendance or help us with timesheets? And then you kind of think, rota time and attendance, that's a great module. It's not something I would have wanted to talk about 12 months ago, because I didn't feel at that moment in time that it was available to everybody. And I think also as well, I didn't know it as well as I wanted to, so I don't feel I can sell something unless I know it inside and out. But you guys have thrown so much development into rota time and attendance. You're constantly asking partners like us for feedback, and we can sit and have honest and open conversations about, this aspect of the system isn't quite working for the client. And as we've said, no piece of software is perfect, even those that have been developed in-house and that clients use for their own purposes. But you guys really listen. I can go on to the feedback, and I can pop a comment in, and I can see how that idea or that suggestion is kind of moving through the process in terms of your development. And we're constantly getting the notifications of what's new and what's coming up. So, expenses module, we're really keen to start pushing now. We love the fact that it integrates with Xero, and I've now got clients saying, when will it be doing Sage? When will it be doing Iris? I keep saying it's part of the plan. It's part of the plan. So it gives me the confidence to start to talk more about the additional modules. And again, the training and development that I've had from you guys has been really, really fantastic. And the fact that if I don't know the answer to something, I can speak to you, or I can speak to the team and just kind of say, can you help me with this? A client's asked me this and I actually don't know what the answer is. I find that really, really beneficial.
So as you know, lots of our partners are going to be watching this back, and partners on every step of the different stages of their journeys, I should say. But if you could give one piece of advice to, I guess, to a new Breathe partner, what would that look like?
I think don't just offer it as a product and then forget about it. There's so many ways you can add value with your clients, and especially if some partners are just going to send out a referral code, and that's absolutely fine if that works for them. But if you are going to host the Breathe platform on behalf of a partner, then what else can you do? We have access to the system. Do we want to be going in periodically and having a look and possibly pulling a report off and sending it to the client and kind of adding a bit of value that way? Because that opens up lots of other opportunities. And we offer implementation service to some of our clients, and they really welcome that, and that gives us an income stream as well. So I think for the partners, it's use it to your advantage. Just because we do something doesn't mean to say it's right for everybody, but there are so many benefits of kind of exploring ways of using the system alongside your clients, because it really helps build relationships and it really helps with customer loyalty. And we mentioned about strategy. Our strategy for this year is very much having a client first approach. That's got to be key for us. So whatever the client needs, if we can offer a service or a solution to support them with that, that's what we want to do. So yeah, that would be my advice.
I think it's good advice as well, especially the success you've had over the last couple of years. And I guess a final question from me then. Where do you plan to keep your award from this year's summit?
So from this year's summit, both my awards are on my desk at home. When I are having meetings with clients, they got the little breathe cloud in the background. I'm in the office today, so I haven't got them. But we've got last year's awards on the shelf in the office. So all of our new members of staff, when they come in, they actually see that, we're award winning. We have this partnership, and they can start to introduce the breathe conversation into their interactions with the client. And next year's award will definitely be sitting pride of place on my desk, same as this year's awards.
I love the confidence around that. But no, thank you for being so open, sharing your experience, sharing your advice with me and sort of the wider partner program. We all really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And yeah, thanks for taking the time out to join me today.
No problem. I really appreciate the opportunity to kind of speak to you guys. I'm really grateful. So thank you very much for asking.
Thanks, Vickie.